So I don't know if you can tell, but I got a new camera. So yeah, I did a bit of upgrading to my whole recording package system, whatever. It should have better quality than the old one. So depending on what your type is, I either look a lot better or a lot worse. Okay, so welcome back to my channel. My name, of course, is Toch. And on this channel, I make content about the software development industry, typically through videos about my personal experience in this industry. So I do video reviews of different software packages, as well as how I built that series, which is basically where I just pick some project that I've worked on in the past and just talk about how I built it. And this video particularly is, I think it's the third installment of my how I built that, and in this video we're going to be talking about my fifth freelance project. So before I get any further, I just want to point out or give like a brief channel update. So it's probably going to be a while, maybe like a week or two before I do another video review of a package slash service, mainly because the semester is kicked back in for me and I'm taking like 4 classes and I'm still trying to adjust and all that, and doing the video reviews does take quite some time because I usually build sample applications and then think about, okay, how am I gonna assign ratings to the different 5 categories I do. So that takes quite some time. Those videos take longer to make than these type of videos, so it might be a few weeks before I make the next video review. So if you watched the last video in my how I built that series, I would have been talking about my second freelance project. So the reason I'm skipping all the way to my 5th one is for 2 reasons. First off, all the ones in between aren't very significant, not too interesting. And this 5th one was kind of like, it was a turning point in my freelance career. For one, I was a lot more experienced. I already had like 4 projects underneath my belt. I was used to the system of it. And also, this was the first project I worked on where I was working with an actual company and not just an individual. And so the interaction throughout the project was slightly different for that reason. So I found the job after doing a keyword search through the Upwork search engine. So basically the client wanted me to implement a set of UI UX designs which they had created using PowerPoint. So not only did they want me to implement the designs, they also wanted me to do it in a way that the CSS code would be reusable, because they had an in-house developer at the time and they wanted him to be able to pick up from what I had done to build the rest of their system. And they also wanted the solution to be lightweight as well as compatible with their tech stack that they had at the time, which I believe was built around Python. And last but not least, they also wanted the design to be fully responsive, which means that they wanted it to look good across many different device sizes and types like desktop, mobile, tablet, etc., etc. Now, I believe they were in the business of generating social media reports for different political campaigns. So the designs basically featured, lots of charts, a number of tables, and logos and brands from different social media platforms. And now it is time for the customary proposal reading. Let's go. Okay. So, good day. Before I continue, I hope that you're having a wonderful day, and thank you for taking the time to read this proposal. A little bit about myself. Most people call me Toch. I have been a programmer since 2015 and a professional software developer for just over 3 years now. My experience with software development spans multiple different fields and industries. I have and continue to develop software as an entrepreneur. I currently serve as a CTO of a young startup called Skiffle, and I've been doing it for just over 2 years. I am currently also receiving web development training under an IT outreach program that Google offers to a select number of college students called Software Product Sprint. I also currently work as a software engineer for a research lab called Cat Lab. Through this job, I've been able to deliver products that the company's private and public government clients rely on. Presently, I'm transferring my skills into the freelancing world because it matches the lifestyle that I want to create for myself in the future, and it also complements my entrepreneurial spirit. Quick pause. So I just want to mention, so everything that I've said so far in the proposal, I have since truncated into a video introduction. And this is something that I've talked about in earlier videos and something that's very important, right? So when I write a proposal today, it's not even half this long. And a lot of the information I just read, if not all the information I just read, I've truncated into my video introduction. Let's continue. My key skills include user interface / mockup design, web and mobile app development, front end development, back end development, website design and development, and more. What this all means is that I'm more than capable of delivering the results that you desire. For your convenience, I have attached a few links where you can see some of my previous work at the bottom of this proposal. I have completed many projects where the idea started from simple thoughts or pen and paper drawings and transformed them into full-blown beautiful UI UX designs that have been deployed on the web, iOS, and Android app stores. I am available to begin working on this project once we have a chat and go over the details in depth. Based on your description and my level of experience, I am confident I can complete this project on time. I'm available to talk via phone, video call, or message anytime from 10 a.m. EST to 6 p.m. EST. Lastly, thank you again for making it this far. I hope that I've convinced you of the value that I will bring to your project. If so, let me know so we can have that chat. Hope you enjoy your day. Best, Toch. And so that was the winning proposal for this project. So I felt very, very confident when writing the proposal that I was going to get it for two main reasons. One, my HTML, CSS, and JavaScript skills were very solid, and a lot of the links that I provided them, like I said at the bottom of the proposal, a lot of those links, contained samples that demonstrated that my skills were up to par, as well as I also did something interesting when it came to placing a price bid for the project. So I believe they had budgeted $500 for the project, but when I submitted my proposal, I submitted it for $450. So I did this one as a way to stand out, just because, if they say, oh, they want to spend this much, but here's this guy saying he can do this for cheaper, then, obviously you stand out for that reason. But another reason I did this is because I took a look at the designs they wanted. From looking at it, I was fairly confident that I could do it in a lot less time than for 500. So basically I took what my hourly rate was at the time and multiplied it by how long I thought it would take me to complete the project. And it certainly must have been less than 500, which is why I offered $50 less than what they were budgeting. So shortly after that, we had a video interview, and shortly after that, I was hired for the job. I don't remember exactly how many hours it took me to complete, but as far as time span, the project spanned about a week long from when I was hired to when I delivered what they wanted. So when I eventually completed the project and submitted it to them for review and approval, I hate to admit, I slightly got into a fight, a virtual fight with their in-house developer. So the root of the issue was pretty much that when I was building the application, I used VS Code. That's the IDE that's my go-to IDE for almost anything. So yeah, I was using VS Code and I was using their live server plugin in order to serve the application. And I also made the choice of using relative pathing for all the assets in the head of the document. So we're talking the style sheets and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's pretty much how I completed the entire project using VS Code. When their in-house developer took a look at it, he opened it through, just regular file system. And so I can't remember exactly what OS he was using, but for some reason, or I guess that's probably how it works, it couldn't resolve the external style sheets and all that. So all of the code looked messed up on his end. He sends an email with screenshots of everything messed up and all that. My ego got tripped up. I hate to admit it, but it's facts. It happens. I'm human. My ego got involved in it, and I was like, oh, I didn't want to look bad, in front of these people. I did think that he had the mistake at the time. I didn't understand what the cause was because of the relative pathing, because on my end, it was working perfectly fine, right? So I sent back an email I'm not sure what type of web server you're using, but if you use, I forget what I said exactly, but if you use a proper web server, I think that's what I said, then it should work out, yada, yada, yada. He sends back an email oh, I don't know what you mean by proper. I've only been in the industry for how many years. I've done this, that, and the third. And he just blasts me more or less, right? So after a while, I tried it myself using the file system. And then I understood what the problem was. It's because I'm using the relative pathing, right? So I fixed it and I pushed it back to him, and it was all working. I was talking with 3 different people on the team. So one was like I believe the CEO or CTO, and then another person was some kind of salesperson, I'd like to say, and then there was the in-house developer, right? And so I had previously shown like the project on my screen via like Zoom screen sharing to the 2 people, to the CTO and the sales rep, right? So they had seen that it was working, right? But then it was like their developer was telling them, oh, it's not working. But then they had seen, pretty much they were just silent during the whole email back and forth fight with me and their in-house developer, and that was kind of interesting. So the next day I pretty much just sent an apology email to him and the other 2 people that were on his team that I was working with for this project, pretty much just saying, you know, apologizing for acting completely unprofessionally. And then he replied back apologizing for, you know, the part that he played in the back and forth, and you know, it was all good after that. Everybody was happy. I delivered what I said I'd deliver, and it was working, and it was great, yada yada yada. And that was the end of that. After the project was done, you know, we both gave each other 5-star reviews, and like I've said before, 5-star reviews for freelancers is just awesome. So I was happy, they were happy, it all ended well. And that brings us to the end of this one. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, hit that like button if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, as well as hit the bell icon if you want to know as soon as I upload videos. Until next time, I will see you later. Take it easy.